Hi, welcome to Session 6. Hope you all had a wonderful and powerful day at graduation. In Session 6, we really want to focus on next steps. Now that they've gone through 5 weeks of our coaching and giving them ideas, had a lot of practice on interview skills, and went to the graduation, they now have their clothes, and they've also had a lot of powerful messages given to them on that day. We really want to focus on what is their future. We want to process the day of the graduation, but we also want to make sure that this whole session is really about what's next for them. What are they going to do in their next steps? So this is an opportunity as coaches to really emphasize to them the idea of thinking about next steps and maybe even doing some dialoguing with them in this session. So usually we like to start with a little processing of what happened on Sunday. What were the aha moments for them? I usually like to sit down, have clients sit down and talk about, what was the one thing that really captured you? What was the one piece of that day that made it so impactful for you? And then just do a general sharing around the room and have everybody share that. And what I usually do is I take each of those little comments and I put them on a sticky note or some sort of poster, and I put them on a poster board. And that way at the end, after everybody's processed, I can go back and say, wow, this impacted you, the volunteers impacted you, or the motivational speakers what impacted you, or the fact that you had the clothes that really did that, or maybe just the fact that you really felt valued or that you felt cared for. All of those different things that they'll come up with. It's really a nice way to go back and revisit that day. So that's one idea to do that with on Session 6. So process that day, how they felt, what they got out of it, and then revisit that again. Again, this is about acknowledging them. So Session 6 is all about the acknowledgement and next steps. So you do want to acknowledge them and the fact that they've spent 5 weeks really working hard up to this point to get to that graduation day, and now for us to be able to acknowledge all that hard work that they did. Usually at this point, I like to, when I'm coaching, is to go back and just talk about what we did in each session very quickly, so they remember that we did True Colors, that we talked about the Master app, that we actually talked about our resumes, did a lot of interviewing, our elevator speeches, etc., just to go back and recap everything from the last 5 sessions. This is also an important time to talk about their collages, because again, that collage was such a powerful tool to get them to look into their future. Now that they've done 5 weeks with us in this coaching experience, have them go back and re-look at that collage and say, wow, look how I've grown in these last couple of weeks. And again, looking at that collage and say, what would I add to that collage? What would I do differently? Do I want to change anything in that collage? And maybe you might want to bring in some magazines just to have some there. So what if they want to add a couple of things to that collage to really keep it up to date after the 5 weeks of what they've gone through? So the collage becomes a really important tool in Session 6 to go back and revisit that and look at how they would change anything in that collage. The other key question with the collage is, how are you going to make that collage happen? So you've got these goals and you've got these ideas on paper. How is the client actually going to make that happen? What are you going to do? What are the steps that you're going to take to make that collage really come true? And it's just a visioning process. It's an important skill that we all have to have the vision to do that, and again, using that collage to start processing. Then we usually take a break. We ask clients to take a break because then we want to set up a little mini celebration. It doesn't have to be much. Maybe you want to just bring in some chips and some dip and some drinks. Nothing major. We're not asking you to do anything major. We do really want you to do it after you've done all of the previous things, because the whole point of Session 6 is really to talk about their next steps. And if we start too early on the celebration, we really don't get to that point. So after the break, come back, have your celebration. Enjoy your clients. They don't need anything else from you but just your support, and you've done a great job of coaching for the last 6 weeks. So congratulations, and we'll see you next time.